Good afternoon. My name is Sydney Martin, and today for my persuasive speech, I'm going to talk to you today about the controversial issue over mandatory school uniforms. First, I'd like to establish the credibility of my audience. There you go. Hi. Okay, so have you ever thought about all of the extra outside factors that come with school uniforms? Have you ever thought that having students dress the same will significantly decrease the levels of bullying? I think that it is very important to try to get schools to enforce the use of these school uniforms. So with this controversial topic, this affects the lives of each student in today's society as they choose which school to attend and why, and as they begin their lives in learning. So today, I plan on addressing to you guys whether or not school uniforms should be enforced, and I will explain to you the many reasons why I do think that they should be. Okay, so one of the main problems in schools today deals with bullying, and I think we can all attest to that. In one large study, according to StopBullying.gov, about 49% of children grades 4 through 12 report being bullied by other students at school at least once during the past month, whereas 30.8% reported bullying others during that time as well. And so to me, these numbers are very outrageous, and I think that through my speech, you'll be able to see why those numbers are decreasing due to school uniforms. So according to the scholarly article that I found from ProPress Central, bullying is the most prevalent issue all districts are facing. Respondents with standardized dress programs are focusing their efforts to counter bullying. So according to Procon.com, there was a study done in Long Beach, California, after 2 years of a district-wide K-8 mandatory uniform policy, and they reported that their reports of assault and battery in the district schools decreased by 34% due to these students wearing school uniforms. So when I read over this survey and I found it on this database, I could not believe the numbers associated with the decreases due to from bullying just due to having a strict and standardized change of clothes. It seemed like such a simple change, and it made the world of a difference. Also, according to Procon.com, as of 2008, 22 states specifically authorized schools to institute dress codes or uniform policies according to the Education Commission of the United States. So 22 out of the 50, that's almost half of schools are making this transformation, mostly in private schools, but to decrease bullying, and they're seeing that positive effect by using school uniforms. So this fact just goes to show that nearly half of the United States are coming together to the understanding that these policies do have the power to affect so many students. Secondly, another good thing about school uniforms is the cost efficiency. I know when I was in school, it could be a constant battle over who was the most popular, best dressed, or even trying to fit in could be so challenging if you were a student on a budget. So with that being said, school uniforms remain more cost effective than general apparel. I found a little speech by Bill Clinton that he talked about in July of 1998. President Clinton continued his promotion of school uniforms with a speech at the annual convention of the American Federation of Teachers, stating that uniforms help children feel free and reduce crime and violence. I couldn't agree more with this statement. I fully believe that students must feel a sense of safety as they're walking through the halls, knowing that in some way or another, each of the students are the same because they do dress alike. And this does limit competition, and it raises self-confidence. So while the effects on cost sure do play a large part in the school uniforms debate, so does the emotional aspect of wearing uniforms. So I'm sure it comes as no surprise to you that students in their adolescence deal with emotions every day. So for my last point, I would like to discuss ultimately how school uniforms can affect students' emotions as well. So, with bullying and cost efficiency covered, the last thing I would like to talk about is how their students are impacted emotionally outside of school with these uniforms. So, according to healthguidance.com, at the end of the day, you want people to know that your children are children. These uniforms prevent other people from serving them alcohol or talking to them inappropriately. By putting them in school uniforms, the older-looking children can't pretend to be older than they are. And I think this is a big problem in today's society with students trying to pretend that they're 21 or things like that. So students would have to change their clothes in order to, get a drink somewhere. And so I thought that was a very good point to how it can affect even outside of school. Yet again, school uniforms can reinforce a positive attitude. According to healthguidance.org, the reason for this is that you can make yourself feel professional, and in turn, you can make yourself produce a better quality of work. The same is true in school children. If they are in shorts and a t-shirt, they'll feel less likely to succeed. And if they're dressed up, they will feel more like a worker. So everyone has different opinions on this matter, as I understand, but ultimately I do see the school uniforms as much more positive than negative in this case. So I hope that I've been persuasive to you on just the school uniforms and how much that they impact and can decrease bullying. And so to end my speech, I'd like to re-establish my audience members. And I hope that you've been informed today. So thank you.